Good evening, you're tuned into CNN News 18 and you're watching The Nation at 5 with me, Poonam Burde. On this broadcast, we're going to tell you a story of a repeat offender, Neta, and a party that is in the dog because of him. Let's tell you the story of Udit Raj and his latest controversy.
उनसे सवाल करेंगे, हम अम्बेडकरवादी हैं, हम समाज की लड़ाई लड़ते हैं, हमारा अधिकार है करने का।
This is the mindset which is basically Adivasi Virodhi and Dalit Virodhi that subsists in the Congress party.
Congress leader and former MP Udit Raj has landed in a soup yet again for his "No country should have a president like President Droupadi Murmu" tweet. Now that tweet came to the fore yesterday. The BJP has of course come down heavily on the Congress leader, putting the Gandhis in the dock, asking if the party endorses this insult. The NCW has also now stepped in, with the chief condemning the comments of Udit Raj, seeking an apology, and notice has also been issued to him. Congress leader attacked the president over her statement on salt that she gave on Monday during her Gujarat visit. Udit Raj has clarified his statement. In fact, he came out in defiance. He says, as someone from the backward community, he is entitled to ask these questions, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with this tweet. Listen in to what Udit Raj had to say in his defense and the political war wars that erupted soon after.
राजनीति से हटकर का है, कांग्रेस से हटकर के है, जो कि मैं भी एक दलित हूँ और वो भी दलित आदिवासी हैं। मैं सीधे संवाद उनसे कर रहा हूँ, एक आदिवासी दलित प्रतिनिधि के तौर पर, राष्ट्रपति के तौर पे नहीं। उनकी एक पहचान राष्ट्रपति के तौर पर, वहाँ मैं सम्मान करता हूँ, लेकिन जहाँ तक हमारे प्रतिनिधि हैं, हम उनसे सवाल करेंगे, हम अम्बेडकरवादी हैं, हम समाज की लड़ाई लड़ते हैं, हमारा अधिकार है करने का। दूसरा सवाल करता तो शायद हम उसके खिलाफ खड़े हो जाते, और द्रौपदी जी के लिए हम लड़ेंगे भी और उनसे सवाल भी करेंगे।
उदित राज जी जो कांग्रेस के नेता है, जिस प्रकार के शब्दों का प्रयोग उन्होंने महामहिम राष्ट्रपति आदरणीय द्रौपदी मुर्मू जी के लिए किया है, वो चिंताजनक और दुखद है, अशोभनीय है। और कोई पहली बार कांग्रेस पार्टी ने इस प्रकार के शब्दों का प्रयोग महामहिम राष्ट्रपति जी के लिए किया हो, ऐसा भी नहीं। ये कहीं न कहीं कांग्रेस पार्टी की मानसिकता को दर्शाता है। ये कहीं न कहीं कांग्रेस पार्टी के एंटी ट्राइबल माइंडसेट को उजागर करता है। आज कांग्रेस पार्टी को इस प्रकार के वक्तव्य के लिए क्षमा मांगनी चाहिए कि आखिरकार देश की आदिवासी महिला राष्ट्रपति के लिए इस प्रकार की चिंतन कांग्रेस पार्टी में क्यों है।
Has crossed all limits yet again by insulting and by taunting President Droupadi Murmu when its national spokesperson and senior leader Udit Raj has used words for Droupadi Murmu ji that can't be repeated. This is the mindset which is basically Adivasi Virodhi and Dalit Virodhi that subsists in the Congress party, and therefore this kind of language is used time and again against Droupadi Murmu ji, the first woman tribal president of this country.
हम में से भी कई लोगों को लगा कि शायद वो शब्द की बनावट अलग हो सकती थी। गुजरात में बना नमक खाते हैं, लेकिन वो हमारी राष्ट्रपति हैं। पद और कद दोनों के हिसाब से मैं समझता हूं इस तरह की टिप्पणी हमारे जीवन को, सार्वजनिक जीवन को शर्मसार करती है। मैं समझता हूं और शायद कांग्रेस ने भी डिसोसिएट कर ही लिया, और उन्होंने खुद भी लिखा कि उन्होंने निजी स्तर पर यह टिप्पणी की थी।
Now, why is this problematic? Why exactly is Udit Raj's comment, especially him calling the president a chamcha or doing the bidding of the BJP, a problem? Because it is not just President Murmu or the person on that position that he's questioning. He's actually questioning the constitutional position the office of the president holds. And the fact that Droupadi Murmu's election was a historic one. She is, for many reasons, a member to be celebrated, and that's exactly why we're going to tell you why this is an insult by Udit Raj and why he has crossed the line this time around. The one biggest reason is that it is an insult to the historic election of Droupadi Murmu. She is India's first tribal president, in fact. Another reason is that she's the youngest woman president, the youngest woman to ever occupy office in the Rashtrapati Bhavan. She's also the first president from Odisha. So her rise from on ground to the Rashtrapati Bhavan is something that has to be celebrated. She also is the first president born post-independence. So as India celebrates 75 years of independence this year, this is something that we must celebrate and not question and make crass remarks about. Another big reason is that 64% of the votes that were polled in the presidential elections were given to Droupadi Murmu. She is indirectly elected by the people of this country. The representatives of this country who are elected from on ground eventually vote for her, and that is exactly why 64% of the country perhaps wants her in that position. So not only is Udit Raj questioning Droupadi Murmu, the constitutional position of a president, he is also questioning 64% of the people who wanted her there. And I want to open this up to my panelists who join me on this broadcast. Senior editor Tushar Gupta of the Swaraj magazine joins us on this broadcast, and political analyst Professor D.K. Giri as well. And D.K. Giri, I'd like to begin by asking you, can there be any justification as far as Udit Raj's comments are concerned?
Well, it's certainly not. That's the answer. In this case, if you ask me, I'm personally, in a sense, associated with both. Udit Raj has been my batchmate in JNU, and the Honorable President comes from my own district in Odisha. So, I will be personally touched by both. Udit Raj has been an outspoken person in his politics, in his student career, in his trade union movement. So he says what he feels without even bothering about the propriety of the occasion or what he is saying. So I think it is his personal opinion. He does not represent Congress party's view, and it does not behove also for a politician to say that about the president. You are absolutely right. When she was contesting, you might say things about her. Once she has become a president, she is our honorable president, and she is beyond any reproach or any comment or discussion. That
you said, you said it's his personal comment. That's also the argument he makes. But is there anything personal when you are a politician, when you are in the public sphere? Tushar Gupta, the Congress can keep distancing themselves by saying Udit Raj himself has said this is his personal view and not of the party. But can that really be an excuse that cuts any ice?
Good evening, Poonam. I just want to clarify. Did I heard it right when Mr. D.K. Giri said it was okay had he said this before she became the president and not after? I'm sorry, what kind of mentality are we encouraging here? And what shocks me further is that Udit Raj has the audacity to come out and say, look, this is my personal opinion. This is not the opinion of the party. I'm sorry, you're not doing anyone any favor. The opinion is very problematic. That woman has risen from the ranks, has worked hard all her life, started as a primary school teacher in parts of country no one even knew back then. That is where she came from. And today she is being labeled because Udit Raj doesn't like a political party. How's that even fair? How is that even a personal opinion which is acceptable? He might have been a certain personality in JNU. He might be, in a position to say certain things because of his political capacity. But this is unacceptable. And Poonam, this is just an extension of what the Congress has been doing for a while now. They have been abusing every institution, be it the election commission, be it the judiciary, even media. They do not like the media persons now because people are telling the truth. So now it's going to be the president. The president has been elected by the representatives of the people. Some of those representatives also came from the Congress party. A lot of the UPA allies actually voted for Droupadi Murmu during that election. Udit Raj has forgotten all of that. And in his tweet, he wants to say that, she's forgotten the cause of the Adivasis, the SCs and the STs. That's not true. Who's Udit Raj to give the president of India a certificate? This man is problematic for one simple reason. He doesn't realize his fault. In fact, he proudly says, this is my personal opinion, not of the party, so the attack should be against me. Shows the audacity. Absolutely,
and that also insulates the party leadership from saying anything because they clearly would be in a spot, isn't it? This is not the first time such a comment has come to the fore from Udit Raj. He's known to be making such comments, Professor D.K. Giri, and that is exactly why the party needs to do something about it.
Well, that's for the party to look at. But I was telling my co-panelist, I would like to tell him that when somebody is contesting for an election, people will criticize and people will find fault. And Jaswant Sinha criticized, said the same thing. And I am on record challenging Jaswant Sinha on the 3 points that he has raised about Droupadi Murmu, our honorable president. So, in a democratic election, during the elections, people have the right to say things, not after she got elected. That difference, that, political nicety of a democracy that you should understand. It happens, but about Udit Raj, the party should take a call on this. I did say that I know him.
Professor Giri, I'm just interrupting you there because you say that it's usual for such kind of comments to come to the fore as far as when she was contesting is concerned. It's one thing to take political pot shots. It's one thing to question someone's capability, but to call someone a chamcha, to call the president, or even when she was in the running, to call her a chamcha of any party is not parliamentary.
No. Hold on. We are criticizing, all of us are criticizing Udit Raj, but the democracy, you cannot gag people. There is a book written on Chamcha by Kasiram. In Indian politics, you should know in details Indian, but there is a book called Chamcha by Kasiram, who was the founder of BSP. So people say things and other people criticize. So you cannot gag the person that he has no right to say his choice of words, his choice of the person, and on the context. That is all criticized. But he cannot utter a word. I will defend his right to say so. I severely criticize what he said. But, if anybody says something, people have the right to say so. It is choice of language. It's bad. So
right, so it's freedom of speech. Tushar Gupta, it's fine. It's freedom of speech. And that's perhaps what the Congress also looks at it as, because clearly they're not coming out and saying anything. They're not reprimanding him even in private. And that is perhaps what is emboldening him.
No, Poonam, I think there is a comprehension problem here. I'm not questioning the right of Mr. Udit Raj to say anything. He can say whatever he says. What I'm attacking is his mentality. So his mentality is what I have a problem with, not his freedom of speech. Number two, Mr. D.K. Giri here says that it's okay to criticize, it's okay to do that. By Udit Raj's logic, will he criticize the UPA allies who voted for her? Will he call them BJP ka chamchas now? Does Udit Raj have it in him to do that? He won't. He won't, because he is taking the convenient pot shot, calling out the president, being in news. And the party really needs to take strict action. You can't have these Bharat Jodo Yatras talking about the secular fabric of the country, protecting the institutions of the country, being the moral fabric of the country, and your party persons going on record and making statements like this. If the Congress has it in it, they should dismiss Udit Raj right away for this problematic statement he's made.
Professor Giri, you want to respond?
I cannot speak. I cannot speak for the Congress, nor will they take my advice. They might take yours. That is their party matters. But what Udit Raj said is in a bad taste and it is inappropriate. And I join you in criticizing. But all your attributions, you have a right to make these interpretations. You have a right to advise Congress party. It is your right. But I would abstain from doing all that. I would not exceed my limit. But I would certainly say that Udit Raj's the comment is not acceptable and he should not have said it. He should withdraw these comments. But I would never question his right to say anything. In a democracy, everybody has
about the right. Mr. D.K. Giri, it's not about the right.
They withdraw. They make statements, they withdraw. And he might withdraw the statement, and he should rather. Yeah.
Professor Giri, I just want to ask you one thing. If a comment like this was made by a BJP leader, would the same kind of courtesy would be accorded to that person as well from you? Or from anybody within the opposition?
Why not?
Or are there different yardsticks?
BJP has been saying things which we are severely criticizing. BJP is calling for genocide. BJP leaders are calling for genocide in public meetings. And they are calling the people the personal names. So all that is happening. And we criticize whenever such things happen. That is the beauty and the burden of democracy.
And at such a time, Tushar Gupta, we have voices vehemently asking for action against those BJP leaders, but we don't see those kind of voices coming to the fore from anybody within the opposition or the Congress party to, if not in public, at least in private, reprimand Mr. Udit Raj and send that message.
Mr. Tushar has just called for action against Udit. Hold on, Mr. Tushar has
I agree, Professor Giri. I'm not talking about you. You said you don't represent the party and the party is not going to take advice from you. So I'm posing a larger question about the situation.
Poonam, on a lighter note, Mr. Giri, on a lighter note,
and I might join him. in saying
No,
that.
no, no, Mr.
But my
Giri,
point is that,
Mr. Giri,
that's not our brief. Yeah. What the
Mr.
party
Giri,
should do, and
on
they
a
may not
lighter
listen to
note,
us. But they will take a call, otherwise people will punish them for endorsing such, filthy and cheap jibe against the first citizen of our country. So people are not stupid in our country. It's a mature democracy. It is not me and Tushar who should reprimand Udit Raj. The party should do it, otherwise people will do it.
Absolutely, and more reason why the Congress really should take note of this, isn't it, Tushar Gupta?
It's very interesting. On a lighter note, Mr. Giri, only 3 people in the Congress have the right to advise the Congress, so not you, not me. Nevertheless, Poonam, it's very convenient that whenever it's about the Congress spokesperson or the Congress party, suddenly we all are talking about the Shakespearean quality of mercy. It's okay to withdraw the statements. It's okay to apologize. It's okay to distance themselves from the party. But it's never with the BJP or the BJP party persons. There's always this bias amongst commentators, amongst observers. What Udit Raj has said today stands against what Congress says it represents. So my simple question to the Congress leadership is, they might do it, they might not. But my simple question to them is, what action will they take against Udit Raj? Because even if he says it's his personal opinion, it's a problematic opinion. That's my problem.
Absolutely. And unfortunately for the Congress, he keeps making comments like these and all they have to do is hide behind the personal view excuse. Will there be some action that is taken against Udit Raj? We'll, of course, wait and watch and pose those questions to the Congress party as well. But for the moment, I thank you both gentlemen for joining us here on this broadcast with your perspective. That big story, of course, will be followed up here on CNN News 18. But for now, shifting focus to breaking news coming in. And this is vis-a-vis the Russia versus Ukraine war. It is going to come up in the International Criminal Court, and we're given to understand that the Russian Federation has filed a preliminary objection in the case concerning allegations of genocide. Ananya, my colleague, is now with me for more on this. Ananya, some would say this is quite appalling.
Well, yes, remember that this case had already reached the International Criminal Court, and in fact it was assigned to the pre-chambers for a preliminary investigation. We also saw a hearing that had happened post the war effects before, in fact, the International Criminal Court, which clearly was in the favor of Ukraine. And remember that Russia had abstained from giving out its stand before the International Criminal Court, and somewhere or the other this comes up as its first response in this particular matter as of now. And though not much of details have been shared as to what Russia has exactly said in it, but it objected the previous orders that have been passed in favor of Ukraine, and noting that there is a prima facie case that Ukraine was under, in fact, a lot of troubles because of the Russian Federation's attacks, and Russia also abstained from voting, and the court had also taken a very, very serious view of Russia not being a part of those proceedings. So this coming in as a first response of the Russian Federation before the International Criminal Court. Poonam.
Right, do keep a track of what transpires there. But for the moment, Ananya, thank you so much for getting us the very latest.
Chalo, yeah.
With that, it's time for a quick break here on this edition of Nation at 5. But lots lined up for you on the other side, so don't go anywhere.